You have a good job, a real salary, and yet every month you open your banking app and the number is smaller than it should be. You're not blowing money on obvious things. You're not being reckless. And still, it's just quietly disappearing. There's a question that's been living in the back of your head that you've never actually said out loud. Am I fake rich? Today, we're going to answer that together with science. We're counting down the 3 traps that are quietly draining smart people dry. And I'll tell you right now, number 1 is the one that's going to change how you see every purchase you've ever made. Let's get into it. Here's what nobody tells you. This exact pattern, good income, shrinking savings, has been studied for over 100 years. And every time researchers looked at it, they kept landing on the same uncomfortable truth. It's not a discipline problem. It's not a willpower problem. It's a psychology problem. And the wild part? It gets worse, not better, the more you earn. An economist named Thorstein Veblen was the first person to put a name to it back in 1899. He noticed something strange about wealthy Americans. As they earned more, they didn't spend more on comfort or security. They spent more on things other people could see. Not for function, for signal. Over a century of research has since confirmed that he was right, and that this doesn't just apply to the wealthy. It applies to all of us. So why does this keep happening? 3 reasons. One of them is doing about 80% of the damage, and it happens to be the one that looks the most harmless. We'll get there. Let's start with number 3. Trap number 3 sounds completely innocent. It's not. Think about the last time you upgraded something. Your apartment, your car, your phone. It felt genuinely better for a while. Then it became normal. Then it became the floor. And then, at some point, you found yourself needing the next upgrade just to feel that same feeling again. This isn't a character flaw. It's one of the most consistent findings in all of psychology. We adapt to good things faster than we ever expect to. The feeling fades. But the bill doesn't. And here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Every recurring lifestyle upgrade isn't just an extra expense. It's a permanent increase in the cost of your life. The gym membership becomes non-negotiable. The higher rent becomes the minimum you could ever go back to. Business class becomes the only seat worth sitting in. $200 a month feels manageable. But over 10 years, that's $24,000 gone. Not on an emergency, not on an investment, but on a comfort you stopped noticing 6 months after you got it. So here's what I want you to do before you take on any recurring upgrade. Calculate the 10-year cost, not the monthly number, the full weight over a decade. When you see that number sitting in front of you, the decision usually makes itself. That's trap 3. But trap 3 is only the damage you can see on a bank statement. Traps 2 and 1 are running at a level you can't easily measure. And trap 1 has been making your financial decisions for you long before you ever thought you were making them yourself. That's next. Trap number 2. This is the honest one, the uncomfortable one, the one that explains why smart, self-aware people keep spending on things that don't actually make them feel better. Back in the 1980s, 2 psychologists discovered something that explains a lot about modern spending. When you want to become a certain kind of person, successful, put together, someone who's clearly arrived, but you don't quite feel like that person yet, your brain doesn't wait around. It starts looking for shortcuts. Specifically, things it can buy to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. The luxury watch isn't really about telling time. It's the symbol of someone who made it. And for a moment, wearing it makes you feel like that person. The designer bag isn't about carrying your things. It's a quiet signal, to yourself more than anyone else, that you belong in a certain category. And honestly, that signal feels real, at least for a little while. The first-class lounge isn't about the free food. It's 4 hours of feeling like someone whose life is on a completely different track, and your brain files that away as evidence that you're becoming that person. None of this is irrational, by the way. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. But here's the part the research actually revealed. Buying the symbol doesn't close the gap. It suppresses that feeling for a week, maybe 2. Then the feeling comes back. And the next symbol has to be a little bigger. You're not shopping, you're self-medicating. And like any temporary fix, the dose just keeps going up. Worse, this trap doesn't just drain your wallet in the moment, it feeds directly into trap 3, because every symbol you buy to feel like that person becomes a new baseline you now have to maintain. And here's the thing about both of these traps: they're not the root cause. They're both being fueled by something that runs underneath everything. Something quietly active in your social life on your phone, in the rooms you spend the most time in. Trap 1 doesn't just influence your spending, it decides it. And when you hear how it works, you're going to recognize it somewhere you never expected. Trap number 1 is social comparison, and it is the engine behind everything else. In 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger published one of the most important papers in behavioral science. His finding was simple, but devastating. Humans have a deep, built-in need to evaluate themselves, and we almost always do it by looking at the people around us. Here's what that actually means for your money. You don't decide what's expensive in a vacuum. You decide what's expensive relative to the people around you, which means your spending baseline isn't set by your income. It's set by your social circle. Think about the last time you genuinely felt financially behind. Really picture it. Who were you comparing yourself to when that feeling hit? It wasn't someone on a super yacht on the other side of the world. It was someone one level above you. A friend who started taking international trips. A colleague who moved to a nicer part of town. A peer whose whole life suddenly seemed one upgrade ahead of yours. That feeling wasn't weakness. That was the mechanism doing exactly what it does. And here's what makes it so uniquely dangerous as your income grows. The higher you earn, the higher status your social circle becomes, so the comparison target keeps moving. Whatever you earn, the people around you are earning just enough more to keep the gap alive. It never closes, and it never gets cheaper to chase. And because your comparison target is making your spending feel completely normal, Trap 2 kicks in, and you start buying symbols to close the gap. Then, Trap 3 locks it in by turning those purchases into your new permanent baseline. All three running at the same time. And the whole time, you're sitting there thinking it's a discipline problem. It's not. It's a system problem. And you can't beat a system you can't see, but now you can see it. Which means what comes next isn't just advice, it's genuinely a way out. And one of these 3 shifts will probably save you thousands this year alone. But first, if this is the kind of conversation you've been looking for, hit subscribe. Every video on this channel comes back to one idea. Money problems are rarely just about money. If that's landing for you, you're in the right place. Now back to it. Here's what I really want you to hold on to. You didn't end up here because of bad habits or weak willpower. You ended up here because 3 deeply wired human instincts ran straight into a system specifically built to exploit all 3 of them. That's not a personal failure. That's a setup. And the moment you stop blaming yourself and start understanding the system, everything changes. For Trap 3, use the 10-year rule. Before any recurring lifestyle upgrade, write down the full 10-year cost. Not the monthly number, the total weight over a decade. When that number is sitting in front of you, the decision stops feeling like a lifestyle choice and starts feeling like what it actually is, a decade-long financial commitment. For Trap 2, try separating the object from what it's supposed to represent. If the watch is meant to signal success, be honest with yourself. What would actually build that feeling instead? One real professional win will do more for that gap than any purchase ever will. Achievements are owned. Objects are rented. For Trap 1. And this is the most important shift of the 3. Audit your inputs. The accounts you follow, the people you spend the most time around, the rooms you sit in, they are all quietly setting your spending baseline without your permission. You can't fully escape comparison, but you can redirect it. Start comparing yourself to who you were 12 months ago, not to what the people around you have right now. That's the only comparison that actually builds something real. And the longer you keep it up, the more it works in your favor. 3 traps, 3 shifts. None of them need you to earn more or spend less. Just to start choosing with your eyes open. The most dangerous part of this whole thing isn't the money it takes from you. It's the story it whispers when the money is gone. I work hard. I deserve this. I'll save more next month. That story is the real cage. So before you close this, just one thing. Write down one expense that started as a choice and quietly became a baseline. Don't judge it. Just name it. Because you can't change what you haven't seen clearly. Do that, and you're no longer playing this game on their terms. You're playing it on yours.